What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Hot Take. This is where we dive deep into one real estate topic. Today's topic, we are going to be talking about when is the right time to quit your 9-to-5 and go full-time into real estate investing. I'm your host of BatchTV, Jesse Burrell, and let's get into it. Guys, we have a very special guest, actually a good friend of mine, been mentoring him for about a year now, Mr. Anthony Pappas. What is going on, brother?
How you doing, brother?
Good to see you.
Likewise.
So we've been talking about this for a little while now, and you've actually recently quit your 9-to-5, and I obviously was a part in you doing that, but I thought this would be a great topic for a lot of people that are doing it part-time, people that want to get into it. What does it look like? Because you've definitely had a journey in real estate investing. So let's give a quick bio to the audience. How long have you been doing real estate investing for? Roughly how many deals are you doing a month? And so on and so forth.
My name's Anthony. I'm in the Phoenix market. We just branched out to Houston, Texas, and we're moving into Atlanta, Georgia. I've been doing this part-time for about a year and a half, full-time for the last 6 months. On average, we're doing 4 to 6 deals a month in the Phoenix market, which if you're in the Phoenix market, you know that's a little difficult.
Absolutely, my man. So how long were you part-time for before you went full-time? And what were you doing when you're part-time? And what struggles did you have with that? Because I definitely saw you having some of those.
Yeah, so we'll rewind. I was part-time for 8 months plus. You know, I was working a 9-to-5. I was doing plumbing full-time, come home, bang the phones. I did a couple workshops, you know, tried to find my traction, did the traditional marketing stuff and just couldn't find my way. And that's when I decided to get creative, found my success doing a couple door knocking deals. And then I had a great mentor who pushed me out of my comfort zone and said, you need to quit your job, go all in and just get after it.
Yeah. So basically what I was watching you do, and he's referring to a mentor, he's definitely referring to me. But what happened was I kept seeing you having the skill set because you understand the ARV. You understand repair costs. You understand what a good deal looked like. You went to Steve Trang's workshop. I think you worked for him for a little bit. So you definitely been mentored and by other people as well on, you know, what needs to get done to wholesale. But what you were doing is you were generating leads and then you were gone for 10 hours a day, not being able to touch those leads properly. And I basically looked at you one day and I was like, you know, every day you go to your job, you're losing money. And I think that was maybe your aha moment. Hey, also, if you're looking for cash buyers for your wholesale business, make sure to click this link above. Back to the show.
It really was because, yeah, I had missed out on multiple deals because I'd be able to generate the lead and then I couldn't follow up because I was, you know, driving a plumbing truck or fixing a toilet under a sink. And I was getting calls at work and I'm like, oh, that could have been a $10,000 deal. Meanwhile, I'm making, you know, $22 an hour fixing the sink. And not saying that the trades aren't a bad way to make money. It's just not the kind of financial freedom that I was looking for.
Yeah, that's a great point. So let's talk about saving. So I could tell you what I did after you respond, but how much money did you have saved up? Because you were making what, $75,000 a year or so?
Correct. Yeah.
And let's talk about, you know, how much did you save up? How much did you set aside to make sure, hey, I could actually do this. I could market properly, so on and so forth.
So I set aside 6 months just as a good safety net because I know if, say, I failed in wholesale for the first 3 to 4 months, that would give me 2 more months to go find another plumbing gig. And with my resume in plumbing, that's not too hard to do. But right. So I had a nice safety net to protect me if I failed.
And roughly how much money was that? What are your monthly bills cost you?
Right around $35,000. We closed a couple deals and I just put it all into a savings account and just didn't touch it so that I have that safety net.
So you proved your concept by getting a handful of deals before you went full time. And then you just kept, instead of spending that money and getting excited like a lot of new wholesalers do, which they shouldn't, is you just pretended like you made no money, shoved it away. So that was basically your savings account to where, okay, this is where I could quit full time pretty soon if I get, you know, another. So you got like 4 or 5 deals before you quit full time, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I was, it's not the easiest thing to do working that 9-to-5. It is a grind. You have to put in the extra work. You're out on weekends. You're up late at night. You're up early in the morning doing flyers, but that's what it takes. And that's what I did so I could get that savings built up to get out of my day job.
So for me, my story is a little bit different. Is I worked for someone for a year and then I basically got laid off because he said the Phoenix market in 2000 15 was at its peak. Whoops.
Right.
Mistake made there. But he was flipping and had a bunch of rentals. It was a California investor, and he started selling off the rentals. And I basically just got my license at that time. And I just bought my first condo because I had no idea. I was making like $5,000 a month working for him. And I spent all my money on my down payment for my first condo I bought to live in. So I literally had no money, just about to get my real estate license. And what I was doing at that time was basically I generated a network of investors where I could still find deals on the MLS and short sales and pre-foreclosures. Right. So my plan was just to start doing that, which was obviously getting harder at that time. So I had no savings. So what I had to do is I did it backwards. Is like I knew how to do everything, but I had to go get a serving job and like totally swallow my pride.
Who was disrespecting myself and my girl, but we really love this guy and he gave us exceptional service.
For 3 months while I closed my first 2-3 deals, and right when my third one closed, I literally was like, I will never work for anyone ever again. And I absolutely have not since. So I went a different route to where I just bet on myself. I had to keep a job kind of, but I was just serving tables part-time to cover bills. But I didn't have to do a 9 to 5, 40 hours a week. I was working, 3 days a week just to make sure my bills were covered so I could fully focus on real estate.
One of my hardest things was getting out of that comfort zone. You saw me do it for months. I probably had more than enough money set aside, and I could have jumped out and done this sooner and probably would have had a lot more success early on. But I just, it was hard breaking out of that comfort zone. I think that's something probably a lot of people struggle with, is just taking that leap. You're like, well, how much do I need to save up? I've heard of people saving up over $100,000 before taking the leap. Then there's people that are like, I'm going to bet on myself and go all in. So I think at the end of the day, as long as you have a couple months of a safety net, maybe have a significant other making enough money to kind of cover the bills, you can find a way to make it work. Or you have a roommate that believes in you, a cousin, a brother, somebody you live with that you can say, hey, this works. Here's my proof of concept. I've closed 2 deals. Let's do this thing.
I personally think you need to close 3 to 5 deals, but have a really good grasp on how to market, how to sell some properties, and how to buy some properties.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be an expert, but you have to have a basic understanding and make sure that you're reasonably good at it. If not, keep working that full-time job, keep getting a little bit more mentorship till you're really comfortable knowing that, hey, I could generate leads, hey, I could close deals, and hey, I could resell these deals to investors. And you don't have to be fantastic at it. Do not have analysis by paralysis, but have a good idea. Don't do it too early to where you put too much stress, because there is some months to where you may not make money. That even has happened to me when I was running a bigger wholesale operation. Stuff would get pushed back, stuff would get closed early, something would fall apart. And before I knew it, I closed one deal with $30,000 of overhead. And I was like, uh-oh. But that's just part of the process. But I could weather those storms at that time at the beginning. You don't want to put yourself in a situation to where you have to go back to that 9 to 5 too early because you just did not plan properly with your finances.
Right. And that's one thing we did as well. As soon as I started having success that first or 2 months out on my own, we kept saving that money. We weren't out blowing it. I actually got rid of some debt so that we could just make sure we are in a more comfortable place to, capitalize on the opportunity.
So did you learn that from the game Cash Flow?
I did. That has been a huge impact on my life. It's something we play regularly, and it's just stay away from the doodads.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're talking about is Cash Flow. It's a Robert Kiyosaki game. It's actually really cool. It really teaches you how to gain cash flow, how you should pay off debt and get rid of debt. It's something that we play like twice a month, just so I could whip your ass with something else.
This is true.
Hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to click up here. We have a free skip tracing giveaway. So there's just a couple of things I want to talk about. First is you've kept with a shoestring marketing budget, and your first deals out of the gate, you started making really good money. Your first full month, you netted to yourself, $30,000 or something?
Roughly 30,000, correct.
And then you're making roughly around there every month?
The worst month we had was 10,000. And then, on last month we did 46,000. So it's going pretty well.
You mean net to yourself?
Net to myself, correct.
So that's incredible. And you've been full-time for 6-8 months?
Correct. Yeah, we've been doing really well at keeping the budgeting really low. There's so many different ways to approach sellers. So my niche is virtually driving for dollars and driving for dollars using batch driven. I also have batch leads just to keep, all the data organized. But so we really focus on land because everybody in Phoenix is going after single family, and there are a lot of people moving into land, but a lot of people don't know how to correctly underwrite land because it is a different beast.
Yeah.
You need your utilities. You need the right zoning. If it is the wrong zoning, you need to be able to go to that seller and say, hey, I need a year to entitle this thing if you want your price. If I'm willing to give you the price you want, will you give me the terms I need? Shout out to Pace Morby. But yeah, it's been, and you can do this on a shoestring budget. You can get a couple apps and do this without a giant overhead. And that's what we've done really well at doing.
Yeah. I mean, I've absolutely seen you do that. I've been like, wow, my app is your ROI on Batch Driven's like, I don't know, 10,000% a month or something like that.
Wow.
I was like, man, this thing's powerful.
It really is. And you just have to be willing to put in the work, though. A lot of people, you know, they just want the VAs and they want the texting platform to do everything for them. And they just sit back and kind of sift through leads, which is great. But you're paying for that. You know, you're paying with a higher marketing budget to get those leads brought to you compared to if you go out and hunt the leads yourself.
So the last topic before we go, I want to talk about is I think the biggest thing that people lack when they go full time is I think a lot of people are ready, but for some reason they're not confident or they don't think they're good enough or they don't think they could do it when they have that skill set. Let's touch on that topic real quick.
A lot of audio on Audible, was just listening to books as I was working my 9 to 5 of mindset shift, you know, business structure, tax strategies, all that kind of stuff. So I would feel more prepared when I was ready to take that leap.
Absolutely. So before we go, let's give the audience one last nugget. It could be on anything. Just what is one nugget that you'd love to give to the audience that would bring value to them?
Believe in yourself. I know that sounds cliche, but you really have to go look in the mirror, say, you can do this. You have what it takes, and put in the effort. But if you're not willing to put in the effort, don't lie to yourself and don't take that risk. If you're not going to work sun up to sundown on your own dreams, go work for somebody else and make theirs.
I couldn't agree more. And so how would the audience get a hold of you if they want to reach out to Mr. Anthony Pappas?
You can reach me on Facebook, Anthony Pappas, Instagram, A.D.Pappas. If you need any help underwriting land or kind of want to know what that system looks like, more than happy to answer any questions. If you're in the Phoenix market, let's get together and do some deals. And if you're in Georgia or in Texas, hit me up.
Absolutely. Well, brother, thanks so much for coming on. Another amazing episode of The Hot Take. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Hot Take. I hope you guys saw value in this. And if you are trying to get out of that 9 to 5, please take into consideration Anthony just went through it and he is making life-changing money. Smash that like button, make sure to subscribe, and let's get it. Check out these other videos right here. Follow me on social media.